weekends in recent memory in years. I believe you might be ready for some more warmth. Well, that is what you've got in the forecast for this week coming up. Heat and humidity along with rain chances do build by kind of Thursday, Friday, and then this weekend, while rain chances go down, the humidity does not, and we kind of crank it up even another quarter notch in the heat, maybe near 90 for much of the weekend as well. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you so much for joining this holiday edition of our live Q&A. Our weekly live Q&As are usually on Sunday, but because of this holiday Monday, I hope you are having a good Memorial Day and a good holiday as best possible. So it is after cooling down after high temperatures today. We're 75, 76 degrees or so. A nice evening to take a walk if you can get out and do it. As the sunset is getting later and later, let's go over our ever lengthening daylight here in the Mid-Atlantic and the DC area. Near, if not in some parts, 9 p.m. for that last light, that silver twilight. You'll hit that this week for much of the Mid-Atlantic and the greater DMV, Washington region. By the time you talk to me next Sunday for our Sunday Sunset Chat Q&A, you'll get an 8:30 sunset, and look at that ever lengthening daylight. We don't quite hit 15 hours worth of daylight in the DC area. In 3 weeks comes our summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere with our longest days coming up. But we are getting later and later with those sunsets and longer with those days. Thank you for tuning in, David. Good to see you as well. And Jennifer, you love the weather today. Me too. It was excellent. 10 out of 10 was our daily digit at CapitalWeatherGang.com. I hope you agree. And let's see, Miriam, oh no, rain Saturday afternoon for your birthday party. Don't change or cancel plans just yet. Yes, it will be warm on Saturday, but let me find my Saturday map for you. Yes, it will be warm, but rain chances are not as high as Thursday and Friday. So yes, have a plan B in the back of your mind. Have maybe an indoor component if you can as a backup, but not high enough rain chances as it stands now, not even high enough confidence in decent enough rain chances to change plans yet. Don't take action, just have a plan B for near-term action if needed as we get into Friday, and we'll have a better idea of Saturday's rain chances for you. So happy birthday coming up this Saturday, Miriam. Barbara, indeed, you're putting on the heat this time of year. It is a little bit chilly. One of the coolest Memorial Day weekends in years. And on that note, make sure you've read our latest on CapitalWeatherGang.com. CWG.news/MayChill goes into all the stats and details of how this was exceptionally chilly. Late May in DC, we were near the epicenter of this cold snap recently. I didn't think it was terrible, but definitely remarkable. I don't think I could live in Seattle or maybe the Pacific Northwest for very long, but it was a nice break. It was a nice break in the DC area. Let's see. When will cicadas die, Dana? I think they've begun. They are past peak already, but it will take maybe another week or two. But of course, we're keeping you posted at CWG.news/cicadas. That's our latest for you. But yep, we're in the midst of the peak of the cicadas now, and it'll take a week or two for them to, more die off, but they could be with us for much of June. So at least know that we're kind of at, if not just past peak for the cicadas. All right. So Mohammed, is it the last week for the cicadas? I don't think we can call an end to the cicadas as a hard stop anytime in the next week or two, but they will start dying off. And indeed, it was remarkably cold, Jeremy, that recent cold snap. We did, I think, come within 1 degree of our record coolest temperatures for high temperatures this past weekend. I believe we missed it by 1 degree on Saturday and Sunday, but make sure you go to latest at CWG.news/MayChill. We got close to some historic cold high temperatures, but when you take the 24-hour average temperature for each of our 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, which they were chilly, the magnitude of that chill is a little bit less remarkable. We have to pull away from using the kind of historic adjective. But as far as high temperatures, if you look at just the high temperature data for Saturday and Sunday, it was indeed remarkable. And all the stats are there for you at CWG.news/MayChill. And of course, we're getting into June. That's our derecho season in the Mid-Atlantic and greater Washington, D.C. region in the DMV. So go to CWG.news/DerechoSeason to make sure you are up to date on that as we approach, before long, our 9th anniversary of that last big derecho that came through D.C. All right, Dana, you're most welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And Victor, I don't think the cicadas are past peak everywhere just yet, but some of them did take a while to hatch in the shade. But the soil temperatures are good. I think all of them have come out of the ground now. They'll slowly start dying off over the next couple weeks, but the latest at CWG.news/cicadas, and you'll hear them again if you're in the suburbs, kind of around the Beltway, away from downtown. They'll get loud again this week with our warmer and warmer temperatures in the forecast. Definitely getting some warmth coming in later this week. We eventually add in some humidity by Thursday and Friday, along with some rain chances. And then rain chances come down a little bit Saturday and Sunday, but the humidity does not go away, and the temperatures kind of hover near 90 some of the time for this weekend. So keep that in mind. All right, weather station registered a 64-mile-per-hour wind gust during the weak storm in Bristow this past week. Scott, I'm not surprised. I think I saw a buoy near the Occoquan River register around 80 miles an hour, but of course that's on the water where there's less friction. So thanks for that report, Scott. Kenny gave today a 15 out of 10. I agree, and even this evening is a arguable 10 out of 10, just like our daily digit today. Cooling down nicely. We still have low dew points that indicate dry air. For this time of year, we'll take it after 75, 76 degrees or so for high temperatures in the region today. Nice evening for a walk. Hey, maybe take that light jacket, windbreaker, if you will. But the breezes, they're pretty calm. It's there's no wind chill on top of these 60-degree temperatures. I'm very comfortable. This is wonderful. I should go for a quick jog after this. All right, Lynn, we have hats for sale at CWG.news/hat. Yeah, CWG.news/hat. I don't think I pluralized it, but check out CWG.news/hats as well. I haven't advertised those since the winter, but they are winter hats. They're awesome with their updated logo stocking caps. Andrew, our snow potential index is a 0, but we do have a new tracker relative for the warm season. Make sure you're following our heat tracker on the capitalweathergang.com blog. So far this year, four days of 90 degrees or higher. So we'll keep that tracked for you as we are now solidly in the warm season. Spring is effectively over, and we've announced summer about 9 days ago for the DC region has come into full effect. Summer is here. Yeah, David, I hope we don't have any derechos this year. I would love that. And the summer this year looks like it will be warmer than average, Gene, and it could be a little wetter than average. So that's a good pivot to talk about how we're doing in the rainfall department. We are abnormally dry as of last week's data. We're in much better shape now. We actually have a small surplus in rain from January 1st to now. For the month, we're almost back to normal for May. And then from March 1st, we do have a slight deficit, and that's how we kind of pop into some of that mid-range water deficit. But I think you'll see improvement in the coming week, and the good news is the seasonal forecast for the drought in that kind of mauve green along the Carolina coast. And for our region, no drought is expected for our season coming up for the warm season, and even should improve there in the Carolinas. So that is the great news. We're in much better shape than the Intermountain West. So, and if you're sitting in the East Coast watching me, you might have to water every now and then with kind of high evapotranspiration rates this time when that sun comes out, and it's out for a very long time and very highest point in the sky come June tomorrow. So please keep watering when we have those days without some showers or thunderstorms. But again, do look ahead toward maybe next weekend. We should have a decent amount of rain for our gardens. A little bit dry around DC, but the mid-Atlantic overall in pretty good shape over the next 5 to 7 days. We do have shower and storm chances kind of entering the picture, maybe a sprinkle as early as Wednesday, but more likely Wednesday night into Thursday and Friday. That's kind of the highest rain chances of the week as well. Hey Barb, thanks for joining from YouTube. I enjoyed the cooler weather, and the lack of humidity is very nice. I'm glad you enjoyed the last few days. Victor says his soil never got to 64 degrees yet in the shade, so maybe you'll have a couple more cicadas pop up. Keep us posted on that. And let's see, any chance for severe weather this week in Nova, Jeremy? Looking unlikely so far. Under 5% chance, Jeremy. So stay tuned to capitalweathergang.com. And of course, make sure you're following us on all of our platforms. Here are 3 of our main platforms right now on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And of course, if we ever do have severe weather, make sure you're following both our Twitter accounts on Twitter, and especially our DC Weather Alerts account. If you do push alerts there with the bell circled way down there, The bell is circled there so you can get some push alerts to your phone at DC Weather Alerts. That's a good one to have in your back pocket from our second Twitter account for just severe weather alerts. We won't spam you. We'll have fewer alerts there only during severe weather. So keep that in mind. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you for joining me on this holiday edition of our weekly live chat Q&A. It's a pleasure to see you. I'm here weekly every Sunday except today, Memorial Day. I hope you're having a good Memorial Day. And the week ahead is looking warm. We add in some humidity by Thursday, Friday, and that includes some rain chances. Those rain chances back off a little bit this weekend. The heat does not, and neither does the humidity. So at least I can say for the weekend to spend positive, lower chance you need to change those outdoor plans, but expect some humidity, expect a couple showers and storms here and there, and temperatures maybe near 90 degrees. All right. How long do you expect tree pollen to last? Good question, Stephen. I think it should be waning soon. I certainly hope so, because I am getting tired of it. I have had what feels like for most of us allergy sufferers a kind of prolonged allergy season this year. Trees are still high, weeds are moderate. And let me show you the species if you have been to an allergist and need to see what particular species might be affecting you. Some days it's eyes, nose, throat, hang in there. I think though, grasses and maybe weeds will take over and trees will start ebbing downward a little bit to decrease in bothering us over the coming days and weeks. Typically in June, we can finally see lower numbers for the tree pollen. So fingers crossed, and keep that in mind. And also flashing up here for you, longer and longer day length. The daylight time from sunrise to sunset getting longer and longer for 3 weeks more as we get toward our summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere on June 21st. And look at that, last light is approaching 9 p.m. So by the time you talk to me next Sunday in 6 days, we'll have 9 p.m. or later for civil twilight, our last light, and sunset times at or after 8:30. So if you're an evening light lover, good news as we approach that summer solstice in 3 weeks. Let's see, we've got Alan saying it's a bit chilly on the deck, but yes, it could be humid soon. Right now, let me put up the forecast as we talk about this. Right now, the heat and the humidity should hold off until Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I put in kind of those sweaty faces. And yes, tonight, good evening for a brisk walk out there if you can. Maybe take your light jacket, your windbreaker. But after highs of 75, 76, we definitely have come down about 10 degrees as the sun is setting here in the DC area. And of course, for our latest, go to CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you so much for joining this holiday edition of our weekly live chat Q&A. Tomorrow, indeed, David, is the start of meteorological summer. Good memory, June 1st. And March 1 was the beginning of meteorological spring. And that's because the atmosphere starts behaving more of a summer pattern. The upper level winds behave more of a summer level pattern. Even though the highest sun doesn't come until 3 weeks from now for our summer solstice, the northern hemisphere is already starting to react to this high sun that we've seen even in May. We've just got the atmosphere behaving in a warmer, more summer-like manner, and the jet stream is slowly but surely retreating to its position further and further north into Canada, away from the United States. This summer is where it will start setting up shop, the polar jet stream in Canada. All right, so let's see. So Drew, I'm not seeing a high chance of severe weather for Thursday. I think we had a question earlier about that. I think it's under 5% chance right now. You always have good instincts, but anything organized or widespread doesn't appear that way just yet. But make sure you're following our severe weather account on Twitter in addition to Capital Weather on Twitter. Here's our main Twitter account, but also go to DC Weather Alerts and select that bell down there to get push alerts just for severe weather alerts when they hit the DMV, the Greater Washington, DC region. So always keep that in mind as well. All right, what else have I got for you? On the blog on CapitalWeatherGang.com, we talked about this remarkable MayChill. We give you some statistics there at CWG.news/MayChill. And of course, just giving you a heads up, a 9th anniversary of that big derecho we had in the DC region. June is kind of derecho season in DC, so we kind of give you a heads up. Nothing expected, but just educate yourself there at CWG.news/DerechoSeason when you get a chance to go over to CapitalWeatherGang.com. All right, we've got Diana from Pennsylvania. We are looking at the similar weather patterns for you, even this upcoming weekend. Pennsylvania will be warm and you'll have a little bit of humidity as well. Dew points we'll talk about in a second could be around the mid 60s, which is very palpable, muggy, humid feeling air. And then Sunday, maybe a degree or two warmer, even in Pennsylvania, mid 80s to maybe near 90 degrees. You can see those bright red colors for us on the entire East Coast, just about. And quickly touching on, let's see, those dew points I want to show you as well. Could be at or above 60 degrees, maybe even the mid 60s. So we're definitely into the moist category by, let's say, Wednesday night into Thursday. Starting around then, the humidity might not go away. Just warning everyone, this dry, crisp air tonight on the horizon. I don't see us getting this cool and chilly, and I kind of call this pleasant, especially if you're doing any sort of outdoor exercise. It is a very nice evening out here, but these nice evenings, the dry air, the rain-free evenings when we can kind of feel a little bit of chill, those are numbered. And starting Wednesday night into Thursday into the foreseeable future, dew points may stay at or above 60 degrees. And I would not be surprised if we get a couple readings of dew points near 70, which is kind of on that sticky, muggy, gross line in the next week or so. So please keep that in mind. No major heat index values to report that are troubling or concerning, but when you look at these temperatures starting Thursday, Friday, and yes, into Saturday, you might want to add a couple, maybe 4 up to 4 degrees more to how you're going to perceive the warmth. When our skin can't breathe with a high level of moisture in the air, that denies our skin the natural cooling effect that our sweat provides when it evaporates, but it has to evaporate from our skin to be able to cool us off. So when we have higher humidity and higher dew points in the 60s and 70s, our skin can't cool itself off naturally and effectively. So that's why we talk about heat index values, the apparent real field temperature being a few degrees warmer than you're seeing here for the high temperatures on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So prepare for some humidity. It is coming in the foreseeable future. So I would also say enjoy tonight through even midday Wednesday. Yes, we could see a sprinkle, but humidity should stay under control for Wednesday as well. All right, Stephen, thank you so much for tuning in. You're most kind. And Alan, back into the standard pattern, one decent day followed by some not decent days. I say we still have some here, Tuesday, even Wednesday. Get out and enjoy it if you can. Indeed, Paul, the start of hurricane season is officially starting tomorrow, but the good news is for those wary along the coast, tropical activity looks limited over the next 5 days, and I even looked out about 2 weeks, and I don't see any major signals in the tropical Atlantic just yet. But of course, always go to your other source. Make sure you have more than one source for severe weather, such as tropical activity. I always recommend going to hurricanes.gov to go directly to the National Hurricane Center, but that's where I got this great graphic. Feel free to check there as well. And here are the hurricane names this year. We just had subtropical storm Anna last week, and now we're starting at Bill. For the next system that may develop later this summer into hurricane season, which starts tomorrow, June 1st. So keep that in mind. And then looking kind of ahead for signals for what we might be talking about next Sunday when you speak to me in 6 days for our Sunday Sunset Chat Q&As every week. We get off the holiday Monday pattern this week. Hope you are having a good Memorial Day. So the warm pattern may re-exert itself a little bit more even when you talk to me next week. This is looking at next work week, 8 to 14 days out. We even have a slight chance for excessive heat in parts of our area, and let's call the northeastern quadrant of the United States starting on June 8th. There in the red, and a high chance of excessive heat actually up in Maine and New England. So please keep that in mind. Enjoy this kind of cooler air while we have it. And here's a quick benchmark. Our average high temperature is kind of getting into the low, maybe even mid 80s as we look at this map for 8 to 14 days in the future. I just want to give you, no details I can provide you with any confidence, but the atmospheric signals, we have an outlook with general trends that looks like with the A being above average, the deeper the orange is the higher probability it will be above average. And it's helpful to have a benchmark of what is above average, Camden, right? So our average is going to be in the mid-Atlantic and DC area, low to mid 80s for high temperatures by the time we get into next work week. And a quick look at precipitation trends for next work week as well. It looks like we should be above actually, no, excuse me, near normal for us in the kind of mid-Atlantic DC area, but south of town, above average, has a probability of being above average, and New England and the Northeast has a slight chance of being below average for precipitation. But again, drought situation is fairly under control after this recent rain. We're in pretty good shape in the eastern United States, and this is about a week old, this data, at least 5 days old. So I think our abnormally dry situation here in the mid-Atlantic will go away by the time the map updates next week. And the seasonal outlook is looking good. And even in the Carolinas, that green there indicates a kind of dark mauve green, indicates that there'll be improvement in the drought situation there. So I'm about to sign off. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Let me make sure I've answered any final questions or comments. Go to CapitalWeatherGang.com anytime you need us. Warmth continues this week, kind of a warm, ever warmer, slowly trend toward the weekend, which could be kind of hot and muggy. Rain chances come in Thursday, Friday, and may last for the foreseeable future, along with the mugginess that moves in by Wednesday night as well. So humidity is coming back, and our latest forecast is at CWG.news/latest. I hope you are having a good Memorial Day. Have a good short work week for you. And Paul, thanks for tuning in. And Alex, yes, my heat lover from YouTube, I'm glad you tuned in. The heat is coming. David, predicting a derecho more than a day out is pretty difficult, but we'll of course keep you posted as we enter derecho season here in the DC area. Go to CWG.news/DerechoSeason there. And for more stats on this remarkable MayChill that we're exiting, go to CWG.news/MayChill for one of the coolest Memorial Day weekends we've had in many years. Alex says the heat is better than the polar vortex. And let's see, we've got Will saying have a good one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Kay and David, I really appreciate it as well. Here is your forecast one last time. Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang signing off. Please have a good evening tonight. While it's cool and dry, please enjoy it, because the heat and the humidity are coming later this week, along with some more rain chances, which, hey, we could still use a little